Inside Disc Golf.
Hello and welcome to Inside Disc Golf Podcast, episode 23. We're here in Disc Golf Stream Studio for another great episode. Just finished with the Copenhagen Open. I'm Andrew Gum here.
I'm Viktor here, and next to me, who do we have?
Juha Kytö, the CEO of European Pro Tour and NBDG.
What an honor to have you. And you just came back from Denmark, right?
I was in Copenhagen for the Copenhagen Open last weekend, and it's good to be back home, but it's good to be back on the podcast as well. And I'm happy to share some experiences from Copenhagen from last weekend. It was a blast.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for joining us. What can you tell us about the event?
Well, compared to last year, when it was first time in EPT, and of course the event it's one of the oldest events in Europe, but still kind of taking it back to the next level and the highest level on Europe. So even compared to that, once again, it was, pretty much all the expectations were, achieved and can say one best weekends so far we've had.
Yeah, definitely a great start to the season. First event of the European Pro Tour and the European high-level competitive disc golf season all together. So really nice to get off to such a great start out there in Copenhagen.
And not only in Copenhagen, it was quite a big difference in the feeling here in the studio as well, for us too, being the live commentators. I remember watching back to what we did last year, and we looked a bit more relaxed this time, and it was a pleasure to follow what's happened, and everything looked so smooth. The weather was wild the first 2 days, right?
Yeah, it was could say quite windy. Yeah. So it's maybe that could have been better. It was a spring, sun was shining, but the wind from the sea, it was cold.
For sure.
Yeah, I was wearing like a big skiing gloves, and when somebody asked like, "Hey, what are you wearing? Like, how many layers?" I was like, "Yeah, all of them. Like every single thing I had in my luggage. I'm wearing everything that I got there." So it was cold, and like on the players' perspective, the winds were difficult because it was not only windy all the time, but it was gusts of wind. And at the park, it might have changed direction anytime. So it was a challenge.
But it wasn't so that it was better weather for the earlier rounds and then it got worse and worse, or it was quite even for the whole field?
It was quite even for the whole field. The first 2 days, I would say 1-to-1 the same weather. On the final day, it was a little bit warmer. The wind wasn't that bad. And it was slightly from different directions, so it wasn't that cold either. And maybe for the open division last holes, it got really down, the wind. That was nice.
Yeah,
I would say. That was nice.
Yeah. Okay, so you just came home from Denmark, and how long time does it take to prepare for an event like this? And for how long were you staying in Denmark?
Well, I was there from Tuesday to Monday. I was mainly just focusing on putting the media together there. The rest of the EPT crew, they were there on Monday to set up the course we had the pole pads and all the tents and flags and everything to put there. And of course the local club organizer, they have done work during the whole winter. So it takes a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say the week before the event is where most of the action happens, putting all that together.
Yeah, with the course layout and all the fine tuning, all the OB lines and all the infrastructure that it takes to.
Yeah, I left the course at 2 p.m. on Monday, and they were just finishing taking everything, like putting back the baskets to the original positions, because it's a custom layout on the EPT.
Yeah.
And
so many man hours put into an event like this. And what were the things that you were focusing most on improving from last year? Because I can imagine there were a few things that could be improved?
Yeah, there was actually quite a lot. As you know yourself from the media side, there is kind of behind everything, almost everything changed.
Yes.
Regarding media, kind of it doesn't. The biggest things that the audience sees is of course the separate broadcasts from FPO and MPO. But otherwise, like we have a lot of new technology. We have a totally different studio setup here, and more cameras, a couple of roaming cameras going around. The more graphics there, and those are I will say the biggest things we've focused on, and they were quite good.
Oh, really good.
And
Yeah.
it was really enjoyable to follow the live stream because there was so much in there, and especially on second day when we noticed that hey, everything works. Let's throw the field reporter there in the deep end like we used to do. Hey, let's do something and throw people there in the deep end, and that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a nice resource.
And since the first time we were like, this needs to happen on every single round, the field reporter.
It was clear that was maybe the biggest upgrade from previous rounds and previous events, that we had a guy out on the course we could communicate with, and
it was really helpful to have some understanding about, when certain things are out of view for us here in the studio, that to have somebody there, firsthand on the ground can give us the insights into where the lie is and what's taking place in that way. But I think the image quality was also right up there at the top, like the new transmitters or whatever was causing this improvement in image quality, because it was so clear. There was no disruptions with any signals or anything, and it was really tight.
Yeah, we got the new transmitters. They are capable of putting a little bit more bit rate on which means clearer picture to the studio, and from the studio, of course, it's clear as it gets. And but we even did not yet fully use all of the
potential there.
Yeah, the potential what they can do, and hopefully we can fix that in the next events, so it's even better that it was
sounds
now.
Promising. I have
that
to
it
say.
was now, and it mainly goes to when there is a signal is not that good, and at that point it especially matters. But in Copenhagen, the signals were quite good all the time, so it's that will be the probably the quality we are looking for. But there was some live drone.
That was cool.
Used,
really nice images.
On that you can especially see the difference. Then so that will be much clearer. I was the pilot.
Oh, you were.
Those are great views. Yeah, I was really enjoying that.
Yeah.
It's so lush green, and when you can see the city in the background, you can kind of put it in context that this is like a massive park in the middle of a really beautiful European capital, and that we're playing disc golf there, and it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, but other new things like on beside of the media. At the events itself, as the tour itself it's made for the pro players and fans. So the fans were of course considered more on the media part, that they can actually follow what is going on and not just the lead card walking around. We had some more advertising options, but they also make the events look much nicer with the more flag setup. And there was at the tournament center there was Discraft, Prodigy as a main sponsor of course, but the Discraft, Moby Disc Golf, Disc Connection, the local shop, Suka Europe, Power Grip. What else?
Yeah, we said that
it was like the tournament center looked like that there is actually something is going on, and every time when somebody walked by, they were like, "Hey, what's going on here? And what's going on?" And already on the first day, we saw that there is much more people, spectating, not coming to spectate the event, but going by and like,
and realizing there's something. Yeah,
what is there is a actual big events in this sport. I have seen that people play here, and they were like watching, and and we could see it in a way that not all of them went to the lead card, but they asked like, or are they any locals playing? And then of course, yell there and who were playing and then go there. And so the spectators were quite spread out there at the course. Even like at some point you asked Rene like how many people there are. And it's like, yeah, maybe 30, 40, but there was like 100 people around the course
spread
watching. Spread out there. So it's that was something really nice to see. And the locals were also quite stunned, like we couldn't believe that this actually happens, that there is so many people watching the golf. Of course, for us Finns, it doesn't look that much because we get
the European
and the Finnish tour has a lot of crowds, but over there it was quite a difference.
Yeah. So there's a lot of excitement from the locals when they're seeing all the vending opportunities and just noticing that there's a buzz going on in the park at their local park, and it's kind of I guess an exciting moment
and
for them.
then we had the exactly like regarding that we had the caddy vests for the caddies.
Also a huge upgrade, I have to say.
Yeah,
just it looked so much more professional and
it looks professional, but on the side it was really hard for the people to tell like who's allowed to be in front of the cameras. Of course, they know that that's Hjelte, he can go there, or that's that's Samuel Hänninen, and he can go there. But somebody's carrying his bag. It just looks like a normal guy there. Yeah. So then with the vests, they already knew that, okay, that guy can go. Or we were wearing the stuff, we were wearing the stuff shirts, so they know we are going there.
It's just easy to identify, for crowd control purposes and everything like that.
So those, and of course for the players, we had the tour pass was included earlier, so we can serve the players better there what they want and listen to them. There is some good feedback received, and we can do some more adjustments to the kind of what the players, how their experience is on the tour itself. So it was a better experience for the players as well.
It must be quite cool for the players to feel that you don't need to necessarily be on the lead card to have a gallery watching you and
and the cameras.
Like and the cameras as well.
That's the roaming cameras.
That was also something that we wanted to, for example, on the social media, when we marketed the first round, there was the feature card players there, but we also picked some interesting players to the same picture, they are expected to play well, and if somebody plays well, there will be a camera over there. It's on live. It's not anymore just the
lead card,
just the lead or feature card. It's everyone, and hopefully that of course the cameraman needs a break as well. Like Pyry Joutsen was playing, he was 10 under after 10 holes, and cameramen were eating kebab there. Should we go? I was like, yes, you should go, but finish your kebab, and if you feel you want to go, you can go, but it's not necessary. We get Pyry in the pictures at least on the last holes.
But the excitement is showing also from the people around when things are going well. You get excited to get out there and follow all the players.
And that's just got some feedback from Sweden. Actually, they were really waiting to get to see the Hjalmar Fredriksson on his first hole, because he was on the second card or something, and we didn't show him, and they were so disappointed. But then I said, like, we don't necessarily show all the players from there, because if something more extraordinary happens somewhere, and at that point I think it was Pyry that we wanted to.
That was a key storyline.
Key storyline at that point, because it makes more sense to show the player who is shooting a perfect round. Instead of, okay, this guy is on the pitch of the chase card, but he's playing 800 round. Hjalmar didn't play, but what is the priority story there? We want to show that.
You just don't want to miss if someone does something historical that way, that they're like shredding the course and setting course records and stuff like that.
So that's what to expect in the future as well. So cameras are everywhere.
I think that's
not all the time, but they are everywhere.
It feels like a big improvement, and I think that's one of the main advantages of separating the stream into FPO and MPO. It just opens up the resources in order to really kind of fully focus on that whole division, and what's taking place there at that moment in time.
And also, luckily, all the Swedes got to see Hjalmar Fredriksson quite a lot on Sunday.
He earned himself.
He was a new name for me as well, but I like him.
You should have listened to our last episode where I picked him as one of my
I love his putting.
Yeah. He really keeps it low and tight, and it's just like there's just not much that can go wrong. The way he's kind of so direct.
The highlight putt on 15 on the final day. I love that.
That showed a lot of mental strength. We're going to talk more about Hjalmar soon and all the other players that we picked. But he was, it shows that the field is stacked. And luckily we had a lot of cameras that we were able to follow so many players. And similar to what we have seen from the US this year, that the winners can come from 4 different cards, feels like.
Yeah, especially now on the final day. We were also like, before the round, who should we interview? Is it like everyone? Like, do we get the whole field there? Like, okay, who is throwing overstable disc today? Raise your hand. And it's like a group interview. But it was intense, and before the round, it's like if there is going to be a sudden death, it's today.
Yeah,
before the round,
everything
was
tight,
clear. It would have been weird that there wasn't any playoffs, and it came, and it was exciting.
So dramatic. I mean that tee shot, where like Mauri off the tee on hole 4, that just looked like it was burned straight in the ground, and it got that crazy skip, and then he was able to bang the clutch putt, and so dramatic. Yeah, there was like just so many ups and downs, even just in that playoff. It only went 2 holes, but it was really an emotional roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was exciting to watch it there, close range. I was standing behind the tee on the when they started, and you could immediately see Mauri's drive, and it was like, that's a mole killer over there. That's it's going nowhere. But
what did it hit to get such a good skip? Just lucky, like a
there was a bolt spot on the grass,
just like the perfect spot, like really hard packed, kind of a little bit more slick piece of earth. But wild one. Got about 100 meters after it made contact with the ground, and you don't see that very often.
Yeah.
I never felt like I did. I think lost my ability to speak, but I still I couldn't shut up because I'm feeling almost the same thing now when I'm thinking back of it. What kind of feedback have you gotten from the players afterwards? Have they felt the improvement compared to last year?
Yeah, there is a lot of feedback. I will say 99% positive. Some complaints, but like good constructive criticism is something we have thought about, but then for third-party reasons couldn't do. For example, more toilets on the course, but the Copenhagen city doesn't allow us to put toilets there, so it's kind of out of our hands. Yeah, we could have pushed it more, but
I heard from the locals.
But there are toilets there.
Sure, there is some facilities, but I did hear from the locals that the park or that the city is quite strict about what they allow within their park. And it's hard for them to make any kind of changes or adjustments without a lot of bureaucracy involved.
Yeah, we have been dealing with a lot of different cities and countries and everything, and before that I thought that we need in Finland a lot of paperwork and everything, but Denmark is in another level. Yeah, I'm scared of what Germany will bring us.
I was just going to say, after living in Germany for many years, I can only imagine what happens when European Pro Tour finally gets to the main event there. But good to hear that the players are enjoying. And also, speaking about the players, amazing to see so many FPO players compared to last year. How did that happen?
I think it's, word of mouth going from players to players. Like, hey, you can and should come there. And of course, we have the media there. It's dedicated live stream for the FPO. So it's, you have a high chance to be on camera if you come to play FPO.
That's a great opportunity.
There is a quite high chance for it. So it's really worth to come. And I think in almost every event we have a full or at least almost full field on FPO, and it's good, and hopefully in the future we even need to adjust the maximum spots so there's more FPO players. Now of course it's much more of the open division, but I think in the future that will change as well.
Continues to build, and the field will get larger and larger.
And what I even feel it was, at least on the paper at the beginning, Kairi of course ruled the whole weekend, but like on the paper before the first round, like it could be anyone's game. In top 10.
There was a lot of 900 plus rated players and a lot of players with a lot of success in the past as well. So really exciting that way when you can get more and more people competing for the win. In both divisions that way.
But not every time everybody can win. There's always one winner. This time it was Kairi, maybe it's someone else in Belgium. Maybe it's someone else in Estonia. And
looking how tight the fields are, like most likely we're going to see quite a few new winners on the tour this year. That's my prediction, at least. Big success in Copenhagen. What's happening next here? We have a Belgian Open coming in just over a week.
I actually need to go and check how I will go there.
You haven't booked your tickets yet?
No, I haven't booked my tickets yet. I flew back home from Copenhagen, and the MTG Media guys drives our van to Belgium, and I will fly there but drive back home.
Okay, nice.
From there, now we have actually 2 vans driving with the tour. Last year it was only 1, so we doubled the amount of course infrastructure and everything. And should go there in a week. And over there, I will say it's going to be one of the best events we had. Luckily, there is a lot of players there, a lot of good players there, because the course, in case you haven't watched the footage from last year's Belgian Open, it was part of the Euro Tour. It was played on, was it in September?
Yeah.
Well, it was full, green course, but the park is amazing. It's one of the best looking places and courses in the tour, and some nice variety of holes and different woods, grass, open. You need every type of shot you have there. They have changed some things there. There is some nice triple Mando gate built up, and it's going to be amazing.
A new event, the first new event compared to last year, and but as you said, it's not the first time they are running Belgian Open. It was a part of the Euro Tour last year, and defending champion Elias Luukkonen is going to be there as well, and hopefully get to see him. And a previous guest here on Inside Disc Golf, so please go back and listen to that episode. I think it's episode 5 or 6 or something like that, maybe even earlier.
We will see Elias.
We are going to see him.
The feature cards, how we spread them or pick the players to feature cards, it's always last year's champion if playing. Then a title partner pick, local pick, and one of the tour pass players outside the nationality that is already on the feature card. So we get as many nationalities there as possible. So every time the past champion is on the feature card if playing at the event.
Yeah, nice.
That's another thing we were talking quite a bit about during the live broadcast, is how many different flags we see on the leaderboard. Compared to last year, there was a big dominance from the Finnish players mainly, but not really the case, at least in Copenhagen. Much more mixed with the Swedish, of course, 2 Estonian champions and Hjalte Jensen from Denmark and many other players. Do you expect to see that we will see even more nationalities or during the season? Where would I say, where is the professional disc golf scene growing right now in Europe, from what you have seen?
I think the biggest growth is in Estonia and Sweden. Estonia, of course, is a much smaller country, so the numbers are not that high, but I'd say Sweden has the highest potential right now. Of course, we cannot, if we exclude Finland, then that's easy talk then, because in Finland we have a lot of those kids who are going to be the future world champions, a lot of them. Sure. But I will say Sweden, and we will see a lot more nationalities in the future. The more we have events, the more there will be, because everybody sees that this EPT is for European players. It's not for Finnish players. A lot of Finns come. Of course, we have a lot of professional players and high-rated players, but they also know what us, the tour organizers, have done in the past, and they know they can trust that, you know, this is good. All of this work, because they know they have seen it in Finland already, the same concept with the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour, the Finnish National Pro Tour. So they know that it works, and they know that they can come. Everything we put out, they can trust that it happens, and you know, it goes that way. So people will see outside of Finland, like, hey, this works. This is worth to go to. There is media. There's a high chance I will be on camera if I play well. Yeah. Like the chance is 100% if you play well that you will be on camera. So
and I think it's
already to go.
Already happening, and we got to see Maria from Iceland. You know, that's pretty long ways to come, and she had some amazing skills. It was really impressive to watch. To find a new player out there with the coverage.
Yeah, and that's the case. Like you said in especially on the first rounds, like another new name popping up. But that's because in Europe there is a lot of good players here. In each country there is the top players, and over 1,000 rated MPO players. There's a lot of them, but nobody knows about them because there is no media, and the locals might know them. Like in Germany, there's a lot of good players, and the Germans know them. But outside of Germany, nobody could say any name except Simon Lisotte, and he's basically a US player.
Yeah, so the EPT is the perfect opportunity for these players to make a name for themselves, to get that media attention, to compete against the best in Europe, and to show where they stand and where they rank against all those superstars.
Yeah.
It's clear that next time we see these players that we saw for the first time, now we are not going to be surprised to see them there, because they showcase their skill in a perfect way. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about Disc Golf Stream, is that we're getting to see the stars and the heroes of tomorrow. You know, we're getting to see them fresh when they're just making their moves onto the big stage. You know, and that makes it incredibly entertaining when we get to introduce those players to the wider audience that way.
Yeah.
Great season start. Should we? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we say thank you for today? At least for you. We are going to continue to talk a little bit after Juha is leaving us, but
I need to hurry soon. So of course, I want to thank for you guys for doing an amazing job on the commentary booth. When I was not flying a drone or putting out fire on the media, I had you on my earphone all the time, listening to what is happening at in front of my eyes there. And thank all the spectators at the course, but of course at the Disc Golf Stream or MDT Media. They are now putting out the post-productions over there. Like, if you love disc golf, go and watch it. It doesn't matter if it's live or is it post-production or is it just social media posts and pictures. If you really like disc golf, remember to subscribe to Disc Golf Stream. That's the most helpful thing. And I think that's for now. There's a million different parties and people I should thank, but
lots of great new partners, right?
Yeah, lots of new. We have to shout out to PDTA Europe.
That's cool. Yeah, it's great to get them involved.
Europe.
Yeah, nice that they're helping to support this as well.
Some feedback, but there are global details coming soon. But we got a good agreement with PDTA Europe, and looking forward what's going to happen in the future.
Exciting.
Great news.
Yeah.
Exciting. And with that, should we say thank you to Juha for coming on as a guest?
Yeah, thank you. It was nice to be here.
See you soon again, I hope.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot.
Inside Disc Golf.
All right, we're back. Big thanks to Juha Kytö for joining us here in the studio. What a great start to the season that was.
Yeah, and nice to hear that things were running that great also down in Denmark, just as well as it did here in the studio. Of course, it's hard to know exactly what's going on in another country when you're sitting here in a hot and intense studio situation, but we are It was really interesting to hear from him.
Yeah, and we've come a really long way in just over a year here on Disc Golf Stream, not just with our comfort in the commentary booth, as you mentioned, but also with the technical upgrades and with the smooth workflow that's taking place, and the production quality just continues to rise.
Yeah, and I think especially that to have a guy on the course as a field reporter is really giving us a lot of insights. Instead of sitting here and guessing about lies and things like that, we actually get someone to have seen it with their own eyes.
Yeah.
Can tell us the real story. So thank you, Rene, for providing us that.
Yeah, he did a great job out there.
Yeah, and now it's we are gonna talk about our picks from the last episode. It's Judgment Day here at Inside Disc Golf. We did pick out 5 MPO players each, and then 3 FPO players. And we have done so that we calculated the position. We added them up. So if you finished on 10th place, you get 10 points. If you finish on 25th place, you get 25 points. And then we did so that if you finish on the podium, you get a total of 10 minus. If you finish as the winner, you get 25 minus.
Yeah, so we're trying to get this lowest score, and all the points are accumulated and calculated. And so let's go through the picks again real quick in case you didn't watch episode 22, our Copenhagen preview episode. Of course, you can go back and check that out.
Yeah, let's see. You can present your picks quickly.
Yeah.
Who did you have?
I took Teemu Talikainen, KJ Naibo, Hjalte Jensen, Daniel Davidson, and Silverlat. That was my MPO picks.
Yeah, and my MPO players were Niilo Hongisto, Mattias Vilota, Hjalmar Fredriksson, Rasmus Saukoriipi, and the other Rasmus Tuominen.
Yep.
And what does that give you? Should we talk a little bit about all of these players one by one?
Sure.
Quickly. Sure. Teemu Talikainen was your first pick, and what happened with him?
He did not perform that well, especially the final day. He kind of he was sort of not too far behind after moving day. I think he was like, he shot 1,007 and 1,010 rated rounds, so pretty decent. But then he shot actually on the final day when the conditions were better. He shot 10 strokes worse than he did the first day when the winds were heavy. So I'm not sure if he was dealing with some kind of injury or just some fatigue, or if he kind of just lost the mojo there at the end of the event. But he kind of completely collapsed there. Final day, shot a 901 rated round, which is 1,000 points below his rating, 1,010 points below his rating. So yeah, that final day didn't go his way, and that cost me kind of a lot of points.
You got 57 points with that first pick.
Yeah, that was kind of a
rough
slip there.
And then my first pick, Niilo Hongisto, also kind of a letdown. He hasn't finished on such a low position anytime he has been playing a PDGA event. They haven't been so many, but this was the first. I wouldn't say that 38th place is a
not bad at all,
bad thing in a European Pro Tour event, but we expected a little bit more from him, considering what we have seen so far from the very young Finnish teenager.
Yeah, and as the highest rated player in the field, we were kind of thinking he would continue with to play at that level, but he did not play any 1,000 rated rounds. He was pretty close. He was 992, 994, and 974. So he didn't play really bad at any point, but he didn't really quite play up to his potential either. So he kind of had a little bit of an average event here.
So that's 38 points for me. Not the best first pick, but I think it's going to improve a little bit when we continue to look here.
Yeah, well, my second pick was not much better. I had the legend KJ Naibo, thinking maybe he was going to come out here and make some magic happen, but that wasn't meant to be, and he finished 51st place, and that's quite a big tie for 51st, and he shot a 984, a 978, and a 966 rated round, so quite below his rating and quite below his capabilities there, so not his best event.
He wasn't maybe one of the absolute biggest favorites coming into the event, but he was definitely one that we were having an extra wanted to keep an extra eye out for, and maybe last year he was more of a bigger favorite coming into this event, but he didn't perform that well last year either. No.
Yeah, so I think
something about KJ and Valby Park, and this doesn't really seem to be the best match so far.
Yeah. You'd think local guy, you know, that he knows the course and he's going to perform well, and that was kind of what drove my pick. That's just thinking, you know. And plus, I'm a big fan. I really like the guy, so I was just kind of hoping that he was going to have a good weekend, and didn't work out this time. Cost me a lot of points there.
So another 51 points you got there.
Yeah, terrible start. My top 2 picks were disastrous, really.
Yeah. And now here comes the first kind of good pick. Matias Vilota was my second pick, the young Estonian. He finished at 7th place, and we got to see him quite a bit. Yeah. Already on day 1, he was on the feature card, and strong start for the Estonian.
Yeah, top 10 finish is fantastic. He shot a 992, 1017, and then a 1031, blazing hot final round.
He climbed a lot there on the final. Yeah. I was a little bit worried after seeing him on day 1 that it didn't look like my second pick would be the absolute best, but he proved to be quite good.
Finished strong. Got himself $847 cash. And some pretty valuable tour points there as well in that top 10.
And I got only 7 points for that, so
that's good. Yeah,
great.
That's good.
I'm a little bit ahead of you so far.
Way ahead of me.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty difficult to catch you after those first 2 picks I made. I kind of totally blew it with those guys, but they'll be back for more super talented players. And I actually had also my third pick was in that tie for 7th with you with Matias, with Hjalte Jensen, the local superstar.
And
the new king of Denmark.
That looked like it was an amazing pick on day 1.
Yeah,
dropped down a little bit second round, but then again fought his way up on final day, and that's usually what we see from him. A little bit ups and downs. And,
he usually just has one round that's kind of like, you know, keeping him back from being up there at the top.
It's just a matter of time until that big weekend is going to come for him.
Oh yeah, he's due for it, and he's worked hard on his mental game, and you could really see the improvements too. Because he was struggling quite a lot with nerves that second round, you know, coming in as the local hero, and you know being right there in the race for it, and he just kind of never really found his flow on moving day. He shot himself a 1036 first round, 986 second round, and then 1015 final round rating.
Yeah,
so.
That one round.
Just the one round held him back there.
It was also really interesting to hear from Rene out there on the course that the nerves were showing, and his caddy wasn't super happy there second day either. But
a lot of tension there.
No, but it's also very clear that Hjalte was aware of these problems, and he was really fighting to stay focused, and a lot of rooms for improvement for him, which is also a good thing.
Yeah, but it really shows a lot about his commitment and his self-understanding that he's able to, and maturity, that he's able to recognize, you know, where his weakness might be, and focus attention on improving that. So yeah, watch out. He's definitely on the way up, and incredibly exciting player to watch. He almost aced hole 15. He had dozens of other really awesome highlights. He can do stuff that some other people can't do. He's got all the skills, you know.
Yeah, and it was clear that he played a completely different game than some of the other players there in the top. That he was going aggressive on every single shot and had some huge saves that we thought this is going to be bogey for sure, but somehow ended up to be birdies even. So.
Yeah, very
cool to see. Yeah, very entertaining to see, and nice to have that kind of aggressive players battling up there in the top also, because you never know what's going to happen.
I really, really like his style, and really fun to watch. And he's going to be someone to keep an eye on at Belgian Open. He shot the hot round final day, got the course record last year at that event. He was out of reach in order to get up in into that podium, but. He really shot some incredibly hot round there last year.
Yeah, then might be another pick for you. Or if I get to pick him first, we'll see. It was your time to start this time, so
that's right. Yeah,
maybe I will take that one next week. We'll see. 7 points for you there.
Yeah.
My third pick is the one that I'm maybe most proud of.
That was a great pick.
Hjalmar Fredriksson, the Swede, the 16-year-old upcoming superstar. Finished 4th and was on the lead card on the final day. He had an amazing start, was 4 down through 4, and then the struggles came. And it was big struggles. It really got to his head, and somehow he was able to turn it all around.
Finished strong,
Finished really strong.
Yeah, I think the nerves hit him somewhere in the middle of the round, or I guess after that blazing hot start, 4 for 4, and then he started to struggle, kind of not just off the tee but also on the green a little bit, and but he was able to keep his composure, and he never looked. I mean, he showed some signs of frustration when he was kind of missing putts and stuff, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary, and then he was able to kind of keep it together and then finish strong, like we said. So very impressed with that youngster.
Yeah, clearly, and it's not going to be the last time we see him in front of live cameras. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was the first time for him in front of live cameras.
For sure.
And that's also a thing you just need to learn.
Yeah.
And he handled it very well.
Very well.
So I'm proud with my third pick, Hjalmar Fredriksson, only 4 points there and very close to a podium would have gained me some minus points. But instead you got a podium finish here with your fourth pick.
I did, yeah. First of all, the Hjalmar, super bright future for that guy, and we're really excited to continue to follow his career. But yeah, Daniel Davidsson, I took him thinking he could perhaps repeat the magic from last year where he had a dominant win, and he was pretty close to it. He was tied for the lead going into final round, and he was actually the outright leader after was it hole 11 or something like that. He had a couple strokes, I think, on the field, and then he just sort of really stalled out towards the end, just kind of didn't really get the birdies when he needed them, didn't make any huge mistakes, but he did have that one bogey that set him back. And
it wasn't far. It wasn't far, though. It was only a few strokes that
he was right there in the mix. Yeah, I think if he could have made that putt on 17 for birdie, then he would have just been within one stroke, and he might have had a little bit more chance to kind of push on 18.
To attack on 18 there, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't meant to be for him. But I think a podium finish is a really fantastic result, especially given that he hasn't been able to practice as much as he'd want to in the off season, doing the military service and everything. So I think it's a fantastic start to the season for Daniel. It might be slightly disappointing not to get that win, and
I think the only one who
the title. But
the only one who feels really disappointed about that would be him, maybe, considering that he's coming in as a reigning champion, and when he really felt that, okay, I could maybe take it again. I don't think he felt that on Friday.
Yeah, he wasn't a lot of pressure on him in the beginning. He was thinking okay, just I haven't been able to practice as much as I want, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, when he found himself tied for the lead after day 2, and then when he found himself in solo lead after 10 or 11 holes or so, then he kind of feels like he might have let it slip from his grip there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think he can be incredibly proud with a podium finish, first event of the year.
Yeah, I think he also looked kind of proud on the photos there from the podium, and he should be. I don't think he's actually too disappointed.
No, incredibly stacked field. We had 120 plus really high quality players out there, and yeah, he was still able to get himself $1,400 almost. So it's a pretty good paycheck, and yeah, some good points.
Yeah, and you got 3 points, but then 10 minus for that podium finish, and picking
nice bonus there. Yeah.
Yeah, good pick. My fourth pick, Rasmus Saukoriipi, and he was on the feature card on day 1. He impressed a lot, but then some frustration was shining through. Not everything went his way, but he somehow kept it together. And could you maybe tell us the ratings there?
He had a really hot 1029 rated first round, and then 986 and 991.
Did he finish just outside the lead card for second round there? I think he was on 5th place or something, just dropping out. It's so intense after a weekend like this. It's all kind of blurred together what we witnessed. But
he shot a 58 anyway. I feel like if he wasn't on the lead card, he
wasn't far from it. It was also super tight there. So
he made the lead card.
Didn't he?
Excuse me, we should know this.
This is slight embarrassment here on Inside Disc Golf, but we are.
It was a long weekend. Our brains are barely functioning at this point.
I don't think there's too many live commentators out there who has been sitting through 6 rounds in 3 days, and I feel slightly hungover after all that.
Anyway, he shot a 58, so he was right there in the top 5 for sure.
Finished at 16th place, so I still think that was quite a good pick, and I expect to see even better finishes from Rasmus Saukoriipi. I think he's one of the most interesting players in the world right now. The way he's throwing, his mental game, he has everything there. And he's already having a one podium finish from Turku last year on the European Pro Tour, and I think we might soon see him on top.
Incredibly talented player, for sure.
16 points for me there. And then your final MPO pick.
Yeah, I went with Silver Lad. He's got that incredible forehand, and just had a good feeling. And it turned out to be a pretty good pick after all, actually.
Great.
Yeah, he finished 6th. He was kind of in contention to potentially win.
He had some really nice streaks going on there with pulling together like 7 birdies in a row, both second and third round, I believe.
I think he shredded that part of the course every day. He was putting together 5-6 birdies in a row right there in the middle, and that was really good for him.
On those wooded holes.
Yeah, he shot 1,007, 1,017, and 1,023. So every round above his rating. Nice little boost for him, and
quite a bit above his rating also.
Yeah, solid shooting in a 6th place, almost $1,000 and a lot of valuable tour points. So really great result there, and happy with that pick.
Yeah, one of many Estonians who just
they did well.
Came to conquer Copenhagen. It was clear that they were on a mission, and he was one of them. Then we get to FPO. No, sorry, my last MPO pick, Rasmus Tuominen, who finished at 5th place.
Wow, that was kind of a sneaky 5th.
Am I wrong? Did he finish there, or did I?
He was 15th.
15th, so another 10 points here. We might need to count this again, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll just add 10 to it.
We add 10 to the total, which means that I got that score there. Let's talk about the total later.
Right. So,
but Rasmus Tuominen, 15th place. He was on the lead card, I remember, last year, day 2. He can handle this course quite well. He's one of the new prodigy players. They have gained quite a few players in their lineup.
Great picks in the off season. Yeah, they really made some good signings for sure. He shot himself a 10-14, 10-10, and 991. So a little bit dipped there on the final day, but pretty solid performance, and about $600.
Yeah, and not that many strokes away from a top 10, I believe. It was so tight there.
Right there in the mix.
So I think that he's quite okay with that season opener.
Yeah, I think he can do better, but he's also that's a decent result for sure.
And I think he's maybe not. His rating is going to go up this season. I have a feeling that. What is he rated now? Around 1,000? Yeah,
1,001.
And I think he's easily around 10, 15, 10, 20. Like his level should be up there, and I think it will be after this season. Yeah. And then I got to start with the FPO, and my first pick was Sofie Björlycke from Sweden. And we did talk about her as one of the favorites. Didn't look like that after day 1 and 2, but then something happened on day 3. So she finished at 6th place, which was okay. I think she was hoping for a bit more, but I still think that she is okay with that season opener on the international scene.
Yeah, I think she didn't get off to the start that she wanted, shooting at 895 and then a 900 those first 2 days. It was really windy, and maybe she just couldn't find the comfort, but she did shoot exactly her rating that final round at 934.
That's a great score, and I'm happy to see that she was able to show her class on the final day there.
Yeah. Her and Rachel both really bumped up a lot on that final day. Rachel shot the hot round, 958 rated, and they both moved up quite a few spots there to take 6th and 7th respectively.
Speaking of Rachel Turton, that was
my first pick.
Yeah,
so transitioned really nicely there, and she was incredibly disappointed with her opening round. She was just kind of like dealing with the crazy wind and just couldn't seem to kind of get anything going. Like her putt was a little bit off, and she found herself in tough positions, not having great breaks either. So
looked uncomfortable on the course, and that's
first time
that's a new thing.
Struggle there. Yeah. We usually we've been lucky to just kind of see her shine on Disc Golf Stream. She's provided some incredibly entertaining rounds all season last year, and got some big wins and everything. So
yeah, I mean, even when she was injured at Tyni and was shredding the course without run-ups, standstills from every tee, she still played very solid. So it was a new Rachel Turton that we saw.
Yeah,
But
the first time she's had to defend a big title. There might have been some pressure and some nerves maybe or something, but it just didn't seem to go her way this weekend. Great to see her finish strong though with that 958 rated final round.
She had a hot round there on third day.
Yeah, and she got herself $300 cash, so helps a little bit with the expenses.
Yeah. My second pick was Heidi Leine. She finished third, so I got myself a podium finish there.
Your podium bonus there, and that's going to be pretty valuable.
Not too much to say about her, but it's a similar story to Sophie and Rachel. It was the third round where she started to show what kind of player she really is. Yeah. Before that, it wasn't the normal self.
Yeah, she was shooting, pretty far under her rating those first two rounds, 917 and 908, 934 the final round, which is also below her rating, but still a decent improvement, and it was able to get her up on the podium. So, it says a lot about her class when she's having an obviously off weekend and still able to get on the podium.
And I was kind of surprised about that it took so long for her to warm up. I guess that's her feeling. But last year she came in here. That was the first event of the year. This year she has already been touring for a month in US.
Yeah, but it was pretty recently. She is probably dealing with some jet lag.
That could have been the case.
They came straight to Copenhagen, if I'm right, and they didn't have a whole lot of time to adjust. with the biorhythm and
dealing with the cold weather also after some really hot rounds there.
From the southeastern United States for sure.
Could be one of the cases why it took a while for her to find her level.
Yeah, but anyway, great result and great finish, and she got you a little boost and nice bonus there on the podium.
I got minus 10 points for that pick, And who was your second pick? Is that something that you're happy with?
I'm very proud of my second pick. I picked Kaidi Alsalu, and of course she took down her biggest win of her career, big breakout win for her, and awesome start to the season. Congratulations to Kaidi, and thanks for that bonus there.
What a pick. Minus 25 points for that one, and
I just had a good feeling about her. She got the new sponsor, and she's I think I don't know if she models her form off of Kristen Tatar or not, but it looks quite similar the way that she kind of flows with the run up, where she's kind of like the timing where she's shifting the weight and everything. It looks quite comparable. It's like a slight hitch and like a moment where everything sort of kind of just goes really smooth, and I don't know. She's a great player for sure.
They're both Estonians. They're about similar age and not built that like too different.
Yeah.
Also, but so I would be surprised if Kristin Tatar isn't a big inspiration at least.
Sure, but she also really impressed me on the green. Like because they were dealing with crazy winds and everybody else was seeming to struggle a lot, and she didn't seem stressed, and she was putting them like right where they needed to be. Like all the short ones were going in. Maybe only a couple of misses the whole weekend from Circle One, it felt like. It was just really exciting to watch her, showing off some of her potential and, getting a really, really big win.
Yeah, and what impressed me the most with Kaidi was her mental game.
Yeah.
The way she handled to be in this position that is kind of new for her, at least on this level, to be in the lead and just keep on defending and shooting hot rounds, even being under that pressure in the wind, with the weather, and just seeing all the other players struggle, but doesn't let it affect her at all.
Yeah, and I think it was such a huge statement the way she finished that round one with the big outside circle putt there on hole 18.
That's right. That was
super dangerous green, crazy wind. She already had the top spot secured for the day, and it just kind of to me that was just a big symbol of that she's not she's not like playing against the other players right here. She's playing against the course, and she's like when she's feeling it and she's trusting her instincts, and she's like that was a big sign that she's like just operating on a different level here.
Yeah, but good pick. It was one of the. She was an outsider. That's for sure.
Yeah,
but you had a good feeling about her, and you were proven right. It's going to be incredibly exciting to see what she can do from here on out this season. If she can keep this level and this mental game, we can expect to see a lot more from Kaidi Alsalu, the current leader of European Pro Tour.
Yeah, we won't see her in Belgium, so we're not sure if she'll be able to hold that position after that. But she will be at the Estonian Open. She'll also be here in Helsinki for the Helsinki Open for the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour, which we won't have live coverage of, but exciting to know that she'll she'll be in town here at the end of May.
Yeah. And next pick for me was the highlight machine, Silva Saarinen, who finished, is it fifth or sixth?
Fifth place, yeah.
Yeah. So lots of ups and downs for her, lots of highlights, and a few too many misses, and surprising struggles on the putting green.
Yeah, that's usually one of her main advantages over the field, is that she's hitting much more higher percentage from C1 and C2. Wasn't really her weekend on the green, but she was still able to put in rounds that were right around her rating, 917, 916, 918. So very consistent scores.
That's right, yeah.
And she left a ton of strokes out there. So, of course, we know what she's capable of.
And considering by around this time last year, we barely knew who she was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite impressive that we are slightly disappointed by a fifth place at the European Pro Tour in a field like this now with Silva Saarinen.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly she's ascended to the top ranks of the, European disc golfers. And she's even made a mark over there in the States, her first trip over, and she was banging putts from everywhere. And really earned some incredible respect from everybody over there too.
So it wasn't the first time we saw her, and it's certainly not going to be the last time.
No, of course not.
And she finished at fifth place, so 5 points for me there, and one pick left there for you.
Yeah, I went with the local Camilla Kampen, just trying to show some local love to the players there, and give them. I think she is really talented, and she showed some serious class. Yeah,
I think she was second place after 17 holes, and she was far ahead some other really big favorites.
Yeah.
She showed some real good class. If I don't remember wrong, it was hole 18 that sabotaged her first round there. Otherwise, she would have been on the lead card day 2. But it wasn't a bad pick at all.
And she had some great highlight birdies. It was really fun to watch her. She seems like a really, really nice person and a great player.
And with that, now I'm not sure if our math is right. We might need to double check this, but.
It must be right.
Yeah,
I guess we didn't double check it though, did we?
We're gonna do that a few times. But you collected 143 points, and then you got minus 10.
Yeah,
for Daniel Davidsson.
For Daniel's podium position, and then I got minus 25 for Kaidi's win. So a total of 108 points, and we're trying to get as low as possible here. This is like disc golf scoring or golf style scoring, right? Where we're low wins.
Scores are good. Yeah. And I got a total of 94.
Well, it was 104.
104, true.
And then minus 10. Yeah.
So I ended up at 94.
So yeah, you got the win, and you have a 14-stroke lead on me.
Yeah,
for the season.
But that's not a lot. That's can change quickly, and we have many events. We're gonna keep on with this game. So if you are curious to see who knows more about who is hot right now, is it me or Andy?
Yeah, well, you won this time. I think we both made some good picks, and I definitely made some pretty bad picks.
Well,
that's what cost me. But you were more consistent. That's
right. You picked the winner though, so you have a golden star next to your name there. But
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a nice new feature that we're going to do this season. We're going to do these predictions, and then we'll see who wins that in the end. But hopefully you enjoy this segment type thing that we're doing.
And before we finish this episode, there are at least one player we need to talk more about, Mauri Willman.
Of course.
Because he was not one of our picks. He was definitely a surprise winner, but the way he did it.
Oh, that was so exciting and so dramatic. I mean, the thrill of that playoff was just, insane. So many cool things about that whole situation there. Yeah,
and not just the playoff, but also on hole 18 coming in. That's and just putting pressure on the leader, Samuel Henninen, who was needed to make a long putt there on the elevated hole 18 basket.
Yeah,
but he just couldn't do it. Yeah,
it was obviously a big high pressure moment. Looks like he kind of rushed it, thinking maybe he could just kind of rush through the nerves and not overthink it, but
didn't happen.
Was unable to execute the putt, and then he did really well to make that comebacker and force the playoff. And then what we saw Mauri do on the putting green in the playoff was just spectacular. To hit those clutch putts in that kind of a situation with the gallery, the live cameras. I mean, that was pretty exceptional.
And especially considering that he had been struggling from around that distance during the round.
He locked it in when he needed it the most, and he just,
those putts just keep ending up a little bit to the left, and we kept talking about that. That seems to be his miss. And then he ended up around circle's edge, like maybe 11, 12 meter putts, 2 holes in a row, and just like nailed them both times.
Yeah,
no nerves.
That was so impressive. I mean, yeah, this guy's got incredible skills. That forehand was amazing. Like, he was throwing so far with his forehand that it didn't look like he was doing anything special or
a perfect angle every time. He could handle the wind. He picked the right discs, and congratulations to Mauri Vilman, the leader of European Pro Tour 2023.
Yeah, and
I think we will see him already in Belgium.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't have it.
I can check real quick.
Yeah, and but anyway, I don't think that's the last we will see of him.
No, he's gonna be around for sure.
You lost your internet connection, so we'll see if you can find that. I also want to give a big shout out to Samuel Henninen. We have been talking about him a bit, but he's that more experienced player here from Finland who usually ends up just a few strokes behind the top. This time we thought he would be able to take down the win. Just as close as you can get.
Yeah, it was still a really great moment for him. He qualified for the USDGC. The top 2 spots got the United States Disc Golf Championship qualification spot, which is a very prestigious event that's very difficult to qualify for. So to get that, to get into that event this early in the season is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's not something that he needs to think about now anymore. He can plan his trip already now, book some early tickets, and then have something to look forward for at the end of the season.
Yeah, and also qualified for the European Open as well. So that's also another prestigious event that's really hard to get into, that everybody wants to play. So to add those events to your calendar is a really high level professional accomplishment.
Yeah, and that's also something new for this season, that you need to qualify for European Open.
Yeah,
and you can do that on the European Pro Tour.
That's right, and I can. Well, also congratulations to Kytö. She qualified for the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship, which takes place the same weekend at the same course in the same location there in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Also a very prestigious event that needs to be qualified for. So congratulations to all 3 of them for getting their spots booked early. And I believe the top 5 players from the MPO side qualified for the European Open. So, and then just one from the FPO.
Yeah.
So Kytö's in for the European Open as well. And I can happily report that Mauri is signed up for almost all the European Pro Tour events. He will be in Belgium. He will be in Estonia. He won't be in Nokia, but he'll be at Tuni. He'll be in Turku, Järva. Looking good.
What a season we have in front of us. But I think with that, we should start to round off this episode of Inside Disc Golf. There has been a lot to talk about, and there will be a lot more. And thank you for listening to, which episode is it? 23. 23, yeah.
Yeah, we're so happy to get the European season finally kicked off, and it couldn't really have been done in more dramatic and exciting fashion. The live broadcast was a total success. Everything went smooth, and then what we saw on the course was just really spectacular and really entertaining. We got to, a couple new stars born here on Disc Golf Stream again.
Every time.
Big breakout wins. So congratulations to Mauri Vilman and Kytö Alsalu for joining the ranks of the European Pro Tour champions.
Belgian Open in just over a week. We are going to have another episode before that when we are talking about the field, picking some new interesting players, and see if Andy can catch me with his picks. I doubt that will happen, but we'll have to wait and see.
Looking forward to it anyway. Yeah. We'll do our best, and big thanks to everybody for joining us along here, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
That's it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Andrew Gum here.
Viktor Tågestad here.
Signing off.
Bye-bye.
Inside Disc Golf, the European Disc Golf podcast. Everything about European Disc Golf in one podcast.